up, everybody? Really appreciate you so much for jumping in and being part of this beautiful episode. We're going to talk about the Cowboys and their pretty much 53-man roster. Hope. We want somebody to be a dog. We want somebody to stand tall. We want somebody to get it. And we want somebody to look at this opportunity to say to themselves and say, hey, I'm not going to let this fall to the wayside. And practice makes perfect, right? So the Cowboys had to walk through practice today. Wasn't really nothing extravagant, but you did get a chance to see some formations. You did get a chance to see the different looks in the backfield that they're going to try to exude and on top of that, exhibit. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, when we look back at this and we start saying to ourselves, could we be better than the 2022 team? First and foremost, on paper, we are. On paper, we are. Shout out to you, Jamal. Appreciate you for jumping in. Appreciate everybody for being part of this. And thank y'all so much for the journey. Shout out to all of the people that was out there in Frisco who showed mad love, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Nate's, what's good with you, man? Nate Davies, what's good? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking good care of me out there at Oxnard. Jazzy, man, appreciate you, man. So when we start looking at this, when I look back at let's talk about Sam Williams just for a quick second. When you hear the news and all of this stuff as it compile itself and you compel the total evidence of everything, you would have to say to yourself, the man is not going to get suspended based off of the information. Now, granted, the Jones family do Jones family stuff, and the Jerry Jones versus, of course, Roger Goodell's do Roger Goodell things. So we'll find out. Even though Jerry Jones thinks and feel 100% positive that Sam Williams will not get suspended, hopefully that will be the situation. Too broke to pay attention. Good evening. Appreciate you, man. Thank you also for tuning in and being part of this particular episode. All right, so Isaiah Land, let's talk about him. Is he on this team, Cowboy Nation? Is Isaiah Land on this team? Should he be a part of this team? Should he be in the mix? Shout out to you, Jay. Salute. Appreciate you. Should Isaiah Land be on this team? Angry? Yeah, you said yeah. Okay. Or you just saying what's up? Michael Lockhart, appreciate you. Kelvin Hicks says yes. Okay. White the third says yes. Okay. I see you, fam. I feel all of you guys. So Land should be on this team. Andy says Land should be on this team. What about Tyrus Wheat? Land is basically an edge rusher, man, in this particular defense. I know you can put him at linebacker. But what about Tyrus? Land is number 53 for those who don't know. And the only reason why I got no notes, I just got my hands here. And the only reason why I'm doing it this way, because I want to know the real. I want to know who I've seen out there. Tyrus Wheat, man, what's good? Should he make this team? Is he going to be one of those guys to get the axe on the outside? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Gina, with the J. What's good with you? He says, Law, any updates on Sam Williams and his legal issues? He shouldn't be suspended. He should be there week 1. He should be there. Yeah, so Tyrus Wheat, he may not make it. You may can cut him, bring him back for a cup of coffee and these sorts of things, or allow the brother to test the market, see who else love him, That could be a situation. That could very much so be a situation there. Food lovers, appreciate you, man. Thank you for all of the graphics for this weekend. That's all I'm going to say on that. What's happening, Williams, man? All right, moving along. Should there be these wide receivers? I'm skipping all the way to the wide receivers. Let me just say this. The guys that's untouchable, of course, CeeDee Lamb, untouchable. Brandon Cooks, phenomenal, bro. Met the dude, real solid guy, man. Real solid, cool brother, man. You can talk for hours with him. He's on his team. Jalen Tolbert, he's on his team. Michael Gallup, he's on his team. He's office furniture. Those are your 4 untouchables. Now, your 5th guy, it got to be Cavante Turpin. Your 6th guy, it got to be Jalen Brooks. I think that they can probably roll with 6. 7th guy on this particular situation, from what I can see from my natural eyes, should be Dennis Houston. But they're going to roll with 6 wide receivers, and I think Semi get cut. How has Cook been in camp? This is from One Handed Bandit. Cook's been phenomenal, bro. Phenomenal. Next gear to his route running capabilities. He can sink into small zones. He can come back. He can do your end arounds. Anything that you ask Cooks to do, he can flat out do it. He can fly a doggone plane if needed. And we've been talking about building planes while it's in the air, you know. And this next off season, not this season, but next off season, your boy Law Nation might be in the plane with Cooks, you know what I'm saying? And I told him, hey, we win that Lombardi Trophy, we're going to fly all over the world, baby. We're going to have to fly to Texas, fly to doggone, well, we already in Texas. We had to fly to California, back to Texas. He going to have to drop me off in Mississippi, pick me back up. We're going to fly all around the world, y'all, for real. We are. And we may put the whole crew with me, you know. Come pick me up. I'll have him picking all of us up, baby. Shoot, we win that Lombardi Trophy this year. Shoot. Cox is another body tackler like LVE. Surprisingly, Cedric, LVE had a phenomenal training camp, believe it or not. Law, we are running a 3-4 defense, Law. You do see it. They don't want to, look, Coach Marv, I appreciate you, bro, because I know you understand this coaching. They don't want to say it. They're going to run it, but they ain't going to want to say it. And even if it's a 3, they're going to still disguise it by putting an extra body down inside. And then before the snap, they may drop them off into the flat or the hook area. Look, it's going to be a lot of hybrid looks, man, with this defense. And I don't want to outspeak my wisdom teeth with that. I just saw, before I hit this live button, I wasn't really diving too much into the actual trade situation with Isaiah Simmons. But to know that the Giants got him for a 7th round draft pick, if that particular team can get him playing the right and proper way, that's a steal for them. That's a steal for them for a 7th round draft pick. I ain't going to even lie to kick it to y'all. I'm not worried about Isaiah Simmons because Isaiah Simmons was the first Micah Parsons coming out of college. It's just that they didn't have a Dan Quinn over there in Cardinals land or what have you. So we'll find out down the line. Appreciate you too, bro. He says, Law, I think we need another O-lineman, maybe another linebacker, and another position that we can think of that may go get before the season. All right, so we're going to have to do like a long show on the, is it the 29th of this month that they're going to do the roster cuts, all teams? Because what it used to be is that around this time, this would be like the second wave. But the NFL, they look at it and said, okay, we can have a massive cutting on one day, and that's what it's going to appears to be. So there's about 90 people on a team, and y'all can help me out because I don't have no notes, no nothing in front of me right now. What is the cut down to? Is it 90 to 70, or is it 90 all the way down to your 53? Y'all let me know. Help me out. Pound for pound beast. What's good? He says, salute to you, Law. Much love, brother. Keep up the good, amazing work. I'm big on Jalen Tolbert. Yep. And Big Mozzie will show up and show out. Yeah. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. That's cold-blooded right there, ain't it? So they go straight to 53? Man, that's cold-blooded right there. So it's from 90 to 53. God, dog. So here's what's going to happen. NFL smart. Oh, man, the NFL smart. to cut it down from 90 to 53, there's going to be a lot of people. And I'm telling you, a lot of people like surprise cut. They going to make that almost like cut day is like a holiday. Because for some who know how to really evaluate these players, like Will McClay, this is going to be like another draft. This is going to be like another draft. Shoo. You can't, look, especially if it's a veteran guy that Will McClay done seen before and they fool around cut him, shoo. But my only thing is we're going to have to do like the movie Avengers. What it say, a soul for a soul? So we definitely, when it's time for to pick up somebody who's pretty good, going to have to be a soul for a soul. Man, my goodness, man. So I'm quite sure when we look at this and somebody said O-line, somebody said LB, I'm quite sure we're going to pick up an offensive lineman. That's our only reservation on offense, right? Offensive line, we good at wide receivers. We good at wide receivers. We good at wide receivers. We okay at tight end. I'm looking at the report that Dak Prescott got with Jake Ferguson. It's phenomenal. I'm looking at the baby steps that even Luke Schoonmaker is making. It's phenomenal. I'm looking at Peyton Hendershot. He haven't been good all this camp. I ain't gonna even lie to kick it to y'all. Peyton Hendershot haven't been shooting nothing. He ain't been shooting his shot. So that's why a lot of people was looking at John Stevens. But I'm gonna tell you, by survival or fittest, Peyton Hendershot is on his team though. So I think what's going to save Sean McEwen? Packages. You got your goal line packages. You got your new package when you get inside your 30. You're going to see Sean McEwen. Them boys may go with just these 4 tight ends. That's just how it goes. Because he's so versatile that they would prefer to have him because of the packages. And he's a special teams guy. We need some run defense. I think our run, I was talking to my guy, Boss Cowboy. Sky was right behind me, and Jazz from BLS, she was right there in the proximity. And Brother L, he was there, and Vach was back there. And we all came to the conclusion, there's no running on Dallas. Them boys, I know we look at the preseasons with our number 2 teams. There's really no running on Dallas. Stephen Cowboy, appreciate you. He says, how happy are you with our kicker situation? I'm glad you asked. We got a chance to meet up with Aubrey's kicking coach. And he's like a kicking coach guru. Like he trains all of the kickers that like the Tucks of the worlds, the Dan Bailey when he was here, what have you. And he said, Aubrey, you just got to continue to get his confidence up. One thing about kickers, when they go bad, they just go bad. It's hard to get from the yeps, is what he broke it down to. And he was giving us some good rubies, diamonds, some gems on what happened to Jonathan Garibay last year. And I'm just say this. It's funny because we all peep game. Remember last year when they was doing like this kicking, we said we wanted competition. All right, so Garibay was a hell of a kicker in Texas Tech or what have you. And whenever he went to one of those, I'm going back for history. He went to one of those, whatever those new makeshift leagues, I think USFL, whatever it may be. When we was out there in Oxnard, they decided to do a kicking competition when it was windy. He lost all of his confidence then, and it waned on him for the entire offseason. Now, the difference is with Aubrey and the smart and the wisdom of the Cowboys, they understood what this kicking guru was saying, is that when you want to have kicking competition, you don't want to sway the kicker's mindset due to the elements. We know that every kicker got to kick in the wind. They got to kick in in crazy weather. But you want to have that confidence up before you try to just throw a guy out there and say, let's kick it in windy conditions and let that be the rule of who we going to get, in which that's not the case nor the scenario. So what the Cowboys did, they limit the amount of kicks on windy days out there in Oxnard, and they held a real competition inside of a perfect condition, because majority of our games, eight of our games for sure, is going to be inside a dome. So they did the kicking competition there. I'm telling you, Aubrey, they don't like him, they love him. He got a strong leg, and when necessary, he can drill it. The only thing that the coach said is that he's still an unknown commodity. I know we're talking about a kicker, for crying out loud. He's an unknown commodity because he haven't been asked to kick in front of 80,000 or 90,000 people, though. That's the only thing. So that's the unknown. Whereas when you have a veteran kicker, they've been in those stadiums with 95,000 people yelling. They've been in those stadiums with 80,000 people or more yelling at those boys. So it's a still wait and see. It's the unknown. The only way we will feel comfortable about this kicker is next year around this time if he had a good season. Outside of that, if it was me, and I'm looking at this team, hear me out, put the butter knife down. I'm looking at this team on how solid we are and how great we are in every element of the defensive side and how great we can be on the offensive side. I ain't playing around with no kicker. I'll be on the phone. What's that dude named Robbie Gold? I would have been called Robbie Gold into the mix. I would have been called the other kid who been killing us, Mason Crosby. I would have been called those boys and been done with it. And hell with the growing pains. But the Cowboys, they think different from me. So they're going to go into this season, the 2023 season, with hope. With hope. That's just what it is. They're going to go into this season with hope. There's no tangible evidence that Aubrey is going to be Aubrey. You know what I'm saying? There's no tangible evidence. So that's just what it is. All right. Boy, I love this Q&A. I love this Q&A. Appreciate you, Timothy. Teague says, speak law, speak it law. Yeah. So running backs. Let's talk about running backs. Let me talk about running back. There's a guy by the name of Tony Pollard. He looks good. Tony Pollard looks good. Let me say this. Tony Pollard looks good. The good thing about Tony Pollard, it's not just Tony Pollard by himself. I think that the philosophy on how we run and when we run, it will be a whole lot better, baby. It's not going to be a whole little bit better, a whole lot better. And when you think of it, you got Rico Didal. He's going to be your RB2. He just won it straight up. I like what Deuce Vaughn bring to the table, but just think about this with Deuce Vaughn. Not to outspeak my wisdom teeth. Deuce Vaughn is going to be that guy, not a gadgety guy, but he's going to be a guy that you're going to put on punt returns. Newsflash, I want Deuce on punt returns more so than I want Cavante Turpin. If you think I'm wrong, shout out to Coach Q. He be on my guy Boss Cowboy Sports page. We was out there in practice, and the dude was kept on following around with the ball when nobody is charging at him. I think that on kickoff return, those little jelly bellies that he may have will be gone because those boys are not coming at different angles. You can see a whole lot better. But punt return, he's a gambler, and he gonna put the ball on the turf. Give me somebody who's y'all killed me last time when I said it. Give me somebody that's a little thicker. Give me somebody with a little girth. You know what I'm saying? That's not afraid to get hit and they can absorb that contact a little bit. Give me the Wanyes of the world and give me Deuce Vaughn. Those are my punt return guys. If you want Cavante Turpin out there, put him on kick return. When Dono going be ready, much love, Law. Appreciate you, Clebo. Dono, appreciate you for the super chat though. Dono is those type of you don't want to rush it. I think he got another 4 weeks, and then he got another. I think he got another. If it's 4 weeks more, then I'm gonna add in an extra week to get ready. So he's gonna be working the chords. I'm gonna look for him. maybe right at that San Fran game. Maybe right at that San Fran game. Slava, I think Malik Davis is going to get cut, bro. So my running backs is going to be Tony, Rico, Deuce, Sean McEwen. It's going to be that hybrid fullback thing because they got packages. Now, if Hunter make this team, then that just Coach Mike McCarthy doing Coach Mike McCarthy saying, hey, we need a fullback. And the thing is with Hunter, he haven't been making no noise, but he haven't been looking bad either. That's just the thing with Hunter. Hunter, first week, in the little pieces of second week out there at Oxnard, he was working with Team One, so they may have they may show us stuff, and then they may hide stuff from us. When we talked to Jermichael Finley, he said the way that Mike McCarthy liked to run practices, and for those who've been out there to Oxnard and Frisco during the Jason Garrett administrations and during the first year of Mike McCarthy, when he was a coach here, they used to blast music all the time. Just blasting music for no strange reason. It just be to the window, to the wall, to the sweat drop down by. And all music. They used to have all type of loud music all the time at practice. None of that for the last 2 years. What Jermichael Finley hit me up with is that Mike McCarthy liked to have majority of his practice sessions in the classroom. He want them boys to have mental reps. He want those boys to have a reason to why they do a certain thing, right? And if you can't pick it up mentally, you're going to be hitting the bench. And that's how Mike McCarthy liked to run his particular system. And he wasn't going to give all of that sauce to Kellen Moore. It's crazy how the house divided. And it's crazy how 1 year you can look at Schottenheimer and say, man, what is he here for, right? He don't talk to nobody. He just sitting back observing everything. For him to just do like this, and if you guys been to practice, you see how verbal Schottenheimer is. You see Schottenheimer, talk to my guy Boss, you see how Schottenheimer would get into those quarterback ASS pause. He would get onto those boys who run wrong routes. He would get onto them when they don't do a certain assignment right. And that don't go a short way with me. That goes a long way in a good situation with me. So we're seeing that, and then plus they adding on that classroom stuff for this team is going to be like, man, this team offense is. We may not be better, far as the numbers, stats, what have you, but we're gonna be more efficient. Coach Marv, what's your quote with efficiency? Shoot, put that in the chat. I see a lot of confidence in Deuce. Yes. And that commercial that Deuce did about Barry Sanders, I loved every bit of it, but it was Barry Sanders. Where Emmett at, dog? Come on, man. Come on. But I would say this collectively, that it's good that Deuce Vaughn looked up to Barry Sanders, because that's who we see when he running the ball. Not calling him Barry, but that's who we see. That's who we see. Yes, indeed, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate y'all for jumping in. Boy, I was worried for a second. Only 2 people was in here. Boy, we got all of them people up in here. Thank y'all, boy. Thank y'all. Cowboy Nation News Network. Appreciate you. It ain't the interceptions. It's the play recognition for me. He react faster most players on the field. Yo, are you talking about Dak Prescott and his INTs? Are you talking about that? Or are you talking about a defensive player? My thing is, and there's a post, I forgot his name, that Dak gonna get his share of, you talking about Isaiah Lynn, appreciate you. Shout out to you, Stephen White. Dak gonna get his share of criticism. That's just how it goes with the Cowboys. He's going to get his share of criticism, whether it's fair and balanced or whether it's just one-sided or not. My thing is, for those who don't like Dak Prescott, he's off his furniture. So either it is right now, August, nothing you can do. He's going to be here. He's going to be QB1 for the season. So all you got to do is figure out ways to know that you got a possible top 3 defense, and you possibly got one of the best wide receivers in this particular division or the NFC completely out of CD Lamb, because he's on his way. And possibly you got 2 explosive. Matter of fact, and I'm not putting no shade, no hate towards my guy Ezekiel Elliott, because he was a battering ram for us, 12 tubs. But when you look at Tony Pollard and how explosive he gets off of his runs, and if you look at Rico, how explosive he is running in between the A or bouncing it out to the outside, and then if you look at how explosive Deuce Vaughn is, that's not going to be the issue with us. Those boys are explosive. And Rico and Deuce Vaughn, to me, just to me, I don't know about to y'all, willing to put their nose deep down inside the block. Technically, they may be a better blocker than Tony Pollard, believe it or not. Doesn't Deuce Vaughn look up to everyone? Laugh out loud, JD. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Leave Deuce alone, man. You know, he ain't little. He just short now. He ain't little. He's short. If you could put those 2 things together, he is not little. He just short. And he can get the job done, though. Shout out to your Uncle Charles. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Dak better than Josh Allen, Burrows in the last 3. He's given us the best offense in the NFL, over 30 points per game. This is from my dog, Cowboy Nation News Network C3N. And yes, we can, bro. Being better than someone, it's just not good enough, though. You know, being better than someone is just not good enough for the Cowboys community, for the 4-ladder, the 3-ladder network. I've seen in my life, every year, Eagles, I'm gonna use the Eagles for example. Every year they profess that their team is better. And it goes all the way back. It goes all the way back to when Donovan McNabb versus Romo. Oh, man, McNabb is better than Romo. McNabb better than Romo. And then it goes all the way back to Dak Prescott versus Carson Wentz. Oh, man, Carson Wentz is better than Dak. And then the 3-ladder, the 4-ladder network, they pick on to what either Colin Cowherd say, Shay Sharp, you know, all of those boys, and Skip Bayless. They love it. They love those other guys. They used to always hate our quarterback. They still do. Case in point, what was Carson Wentz's nickname? Was it walk? Walk it to him. Walk it to him. Y'all remember that? Every year. The brother had a whole nickname. Walk it to him. Watch you walk it to me. You know, whatever he called him, So ain't nothing new under the sun. And now it's the age of Jalen Hurts, who never head-to-head beat Dak Prescott, but now he's the guy that could walk on water, right? So we'll find out, man. We'll find out. But everybody is better than Dak. You know how they say that song? I say this song. Shout out to my guy, Rome Talk. Dak most hated. You know how they say this thing? Everybody hates Chris. Everybody hates Dak. Or have another sequel to that shirt. Everybody's better than Dak. Have a sequel to that shirt. Watch this year's Sam Howell. Daniel Jones. Yep. Every year it was the Eagles versus Patriots in the Super Bowl. Yep. D-Shift. Yep. So this is how that goes, man. Yes, indeed. Rome shirts is fire. Rome equals Cowboy fan talk. Yeah, if y'all don't know who he is right by now, then I don't know what y'all doing with yourself. Go follow my guy. Hey, follow all of us on the new media. Shout out to Jay Tuck. He got a chance to play Dez Bryant one-on-one, not in real life, but in Madden world. I heard he dropped the ball, man. Come on, Jay Tuck. You supposed to win that one for the crew. but neither here nor there. Cowboy Nation, I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this. I'll give you guys my other opinion tomorrow. It should be we'll be back in the studios downstairs. But I'm gonna say this: the DeMarcus Ware over Jimmy Johnson didn't settle well for most of us. It didn't settle well for most of us. It didn't. Because I love what DeMarcus Ware, D-Ware did for the organization, franchise, always was a stand-up model citizen, took time to help others out. He took time to help elevate people outside of Cowboys land. People will drive and fly near to come to see D-Ware. They will understand that, hey, this dude get off his knife. His hand placement is nice. Aaron Donald used to drive all the way up to get knowledge and information from D-Ware. Von Miller, he used to seek out D-Ware, right? And we used to be sitting here saying that, hey, why are our own boys not seeking out D-Ware? But that's a whole nother story. I think they are now. Shout out to Parsons and D-Ware. But I'm going to say this. Whatever is going on with the Jones family and the Johnsons, you know what I'm saying? They're going to have to rectify this, because now it's becoming more and more idiotic, unless his plan is to hoodwink us and say, you know what, it was also Jimmy Johnson that we're going to put in at the same time with D-Ware. That would be the only situation. But Jimmy Johnson belongs in the ring of honor. And come on, Jerry, you got to do the right thing. I don't know what it was. Jimmy brought the rings, put him in the ring. Yeah, ain't that right, Anthony Evans? Whatever dispute it is, it had to be something terrible, right? It had to be something like, man, I'm going to spit on your grave. But you know what? Give people the flowers while they're here. Acknowledge them while they're here, because when they get in that ground, you ain't gonna be able to pump them up out of it, pull them up out of there. And on top of that, what this is doing is it's robbing the experience for Troy Aikman, for Michael Irvin, for, Emmitt Smith, for Darren Woodson, right? For all of those boys. And the only way I truly believe that Jimmy can get into that ring is those boys going to have to express their feelings truly to Jerry. They're going to have to buck against what Jerry is handing out. Now, that money is good. It must be really good. And they're not going to go against the system. In order for Jimmy Johnson to get into the ring, Michael Irvin, Woodson, Troy, Emmett, they're going to have to pull Jerry to the side and say, that coach belongs in there. And they're going to have to lock the room up and say, whatever it is, it's starting to look crazy. Get my coach up in there. They're going to have to be the ones that fight for him. They're going to have to be the ones. It's no longer us fighting for it. It got to be those who he actually coached. And they can't be doing this one-off. But I know that Jerry know how to palm the hands, and he know how to make sure that it's something in there when he do that. And they not going to go against the system, in which, not everybody's willing to fight for you. Maybe Jimmy released the controversial high school pick of Jerry Jones. Laugh out loud, JD from DC. Yeah, the controversial pick. Yeah. Maybe that is the situation. But from my knowledge, when it's toxic like this, we can all see it. I always say, and I say this because it's written in the hearts. If there's one thing a man should always do, is mainly to himself stay true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they mean or bring makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices turns hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was literally Jerry Jones was loving the fact that Jimmy Johnson said, how about them boys? The morals of life, live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who would try to be smart. They would take a decent man and rip him apart, seek to alter his heart. You see, all of those things, those men you should never call a friend because they bend lies around the truth to meet their end. So what I'm saying, Cowboy Nation, Jerry Jones, his heart is all the way turned to stone. But somebody else got to speak to him and make sense to him, right? And the sense and the logical thing would be if this guy coached those boys to get into the Hall of Fame, and on top of that, for them to be in the Ring of Honor, you can't have those that taught the guys, that coached the guys in there, and not the guy that coached them in there. That's just the reality of it. Who's next? What they gonna put Deion Sanders in the Ring of Honor? Deion ain't in there. He only played here for a couple of games. You know what I'm saying? For a couple of seasons. Y'all know how this goes. Klebo, I think Jerry wants to win a Super Bowl without Jimmy, and then he will put him in. I think he feels Jimmy got too much credit for those 3 Super Bowl wins. Jerry is jealous. You see, jealousy and comparison is the thief of all joy. The hardest thing that you can do is root for someone that's less than you, that you feel that you belongs in their seat. And that's the hardest thing to do, right? Is to really congratulate someone on the job that belongs to you. But sometimes, hear me out, what you think that you want, there's a bigger and better surprise around the corner. So that's why it's even in this community, that's why I wish and I hope that people wish the best for me, right? And I wish the best for y'all. I want anybody who started their YouTube page today, tomorrow, I want them to be better than me. I want them to hit more, and I want them to get that gold plaque or that silver plaque. I want them to be better. I wish them the best. And even if they take strategies and scheme from me, sometimes I sit back and I would sit there and say, shoot, that's me right there. I don't have to get the credit. I don't have to get the shine. My glory and my, look, I'm gonna tell y'all a true story. I love to see when others win. I love it because at the end of the day, when they win, we win. This new media stuff, shoot. I love to see my guy Jay Tuck in the glory of playing the game, a game with Dez Bryant. I love seeing my guy Vach Lombardi, Skywalker still, you know what I'm saying? On 105.3 The Fan and doing phenomenal things like Vach is doing with Bleacher Report and The Volume. We love seeing that. I love seeing my guy Boss Cowboy laying it up with all of these interviews because at the end of the day, those are my peers. Those are my compatriots. So Jerry, and I love to see my guy Big Game James. I just need Big Game James to move back down to Texas, baby. Ohio is tight, Choctaw. But let's be real, man. Let's be real. If we had Big Game James for these 3 days and all of the access I had, shoo. But boy, we would have set this off up in that mud. You know what I mean? Shoo. Yeah, man, we would have set that thing off. We would have been rotating cameras and over here. Like, all right, I'm going to shoot the camera right now. While Boss and Big Game James get on them. And then when I start talking, one of y'all hold the cameras. Shoo. Y'all tell Big Game James he need to move back to Texas. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tell him Law said you need to move back to Texas, dog. Ohio cool. Ohio State, D Ohio and all of that. But they ain't D Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Come on, baby. So we growing at massive numbers, baby. Look, this thing is so... They can't contain the greatness. They can't contain the greatness. It just busts out of it, you know? They try to change the rule. And then all of a sudden, they said, damn, they're going to log in, huh? they voices change. You know what I'm saying? Had a dude pull me up. How he get over here? Hey, real talk. I'm walking by the security, right? I'm walking by the security, and I look like I didn't belong at first. Lady tapped me on the back. He said, "Hey, how you get back here?" And then I just paused. Had her to read the tag. You know what I'm saying? She read the tag. I said, "I know she know how to read." And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And, you know, sometimes in glory, you are doing and operating in your greatness. No man can stop it because the grand creator created it. So shoot, this is a lane made for us by somebody else sowing a seed. And when his validation is only good for parking, but sometimes you got to get validated. So when they say, "Hey, he with me," nothing she could say. Hey, that boys get Mike. That boys get like plies. Hey, how you get over here? You know what I'm saying? "Oh man, what's up, Law Nation? Oh, what's up? Oh, you one of them? Yeah. Nah, all right. You slowed me down just enough, but that ain't braggadocious talking. That's just favor." Just oozing out, baby. That's what we are. We favored and blessed over here. And we blessing the nation with unbelievable content and information that y'all know that's not sullied. Y'all know that y'all getting the real over here, baby. It ain't no, as my guy would say, wee woo. We need to have shirts that say no wee woo, baby. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So shout out to you, Brian Bradford. Appreciate you. Hit him with the pause, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, sir. So I think I covered all of the topics today. I didn't talk about Marquise Bell playing that linebacker role. If he's going to do that, it's going to be growing pains. We need Dono to get back. Wanye is a free safety. I like him going down to bang. That's second cousin twice removed. But I like him better at free. I don't like him banging all day because he's over pursuit guy. So when we get Dono back, it should be right, good timing, around week 5, right after the Patriots game or what have you, ready for the 49ers game, or he should be ready for the Chargers game. Dono should be in full ready mode. J-Rock, he's phenomenal. Who else I'm leaving out? Jabril Cox, he's on his team. Malik Jefferson, he just got injured at the wrong time, right? They may do something with that. He's just been hit with the injury bug. Damone Clark, I'm going to say it again, 33 is going to be the tackling leader for the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to you, Gaming. What's good with you? If you guys think it's Jerry Jones' fault that we don't win a Super Bowl, you're not a true fan, in my opinion, because at the end of the day is how it is. Jerry Jones' fault on how the players play. All right, so I love, put it like this, and this is Gaming. Is how you say your first name? Is it Ketro? Is it Ketro Gaming? When you are the owner of the facility, you are responsible for how the facility run. If I leave this room, or if one of the kids was in this room and they left the lights on, will the light company bill the kids? No, they're not looking for the kids. They're going to be looking for me. The name is in my name. So if I don't do this number right here, cut the lights off, you know, when I leave this spot, the onus is still on me. So Jerry Jones control what's happening. He got ultimate control of his team. He can turn the lights off. He can turn them on. So he's responsible of what type of light fixtures and what type of light is in control. So at the end of the day, Jerry is ultimately in control of it. What Jerry missed out is that when you are trying to get all of the credit and you want everything to be on you, and you want to say, look at what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, we as fans, we don't care if the lights on or off. When we come into the stadium, we want it on. So at the end of the day, Jerry need to have those lights on. And he was the guy that went into darkness for the last 27 years. He was the one that said, you know what? We can win the Super Bowl with Dave Campo, who went 5-11, 5-11. The investors, true story, and I'm going to get on out of here. True story. The investors was like, we are not finna help you build a $3.5 billion stadium in Arlington and getting all of these people taxes up high and eminent domain and all of that stuff over that area with a 5-11, 5-11 team. You, Jerry, gonna have to hire a real coach. That's when he hired Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells flipped 5-11 around to, I believe, one year 10-6. They went to the playoffs with Quincy Carter. And just when he got the program rolling, Jerry, that brother turned the lights back off. And he said, I want to win it my way. Let's go get T.O. Parcells was like, sure, all right. God dog, I told you I don't want that brother. And you went and hired him anyway. I'm out. I can't take this no more. The following year, instead of getting a real qualified coach, he went on the excursion of bringing in somebody that he can boss around because he no longer wanted the alpha male in there. And we love Wade Phillips. Shout out to him. Salute to him. But he don't got an alpha bone in his body as it relates to a certain thing. Now, he's a hell of a defensive coordinator, but they made him the head coach. Plus, they went and got a guy that was like a quarterback coach for the Ravens or whatever he did, didn't even have a full stay, by the name of Jason Garrett, and promoted him to be the offensive coordinator and paid him the same amount of money that Wade Phillips made. It was just crazy. And we went through all of that as fans and still was loyal. Eagles backups are ass swards. Appreciate you, man. It's Lindsay. Appreciate you. So to make a long story out of it, like Ripley's Believe It or Not, the Cowboys just this year got rid of that philosophy. And because regardless of how we look at it, Kellen Moore was a product of a baby that was born out of Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan. And for somebody let me know, when Scott Linehan was a head coach, what was his record? Y'all got Google, look up his record. And when Scott Linehan became an offensive coordinator, yes, he was marginally better than what we was doing previously. Marginally. So that was our philosophy. I can't read that super chat. It just went away. But appreciate you. I can't read it, though. It just is so merged together, man. But I appreciate y'all. So we've been through we've been through all of these 27 years of purgatory. Basically, neither heaven nor hell. We was right in the middle spot. And now we got a chance to be on the good side of it because we got an actual coach with his contemporaries that they trust, that's spitting and barking. And then the great thing about this is that you got Dan Quinn, who's not cut from the same cloth for Mike McCarthy, but they working together because that's offense versus defense. And I love what my guy Schottenheimer said. It makes no difference for them to go call the LA Rams or the Raiders to jump in to help do the joint practices because the Cowboys literally got the #1 defense. Adrian Lindsay says 122 and 150. You know, that was, who record that is? 122, 150 and 0. Who record that? Is that Jason Garrett? Who record that is? I don't know who record that is. All right, Cowboy Nation, appreciate you. Now, thank you for that super chat. I thank you guys. Do me a huge favor. Hit the like, share this content. Let people know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. Salute to all of the mods. I see y'all. Y'all working hard. So when I work, y'all work. Y'all always be in the chat, being enforcers. Hey, I hear people all the time. They say, hey, Law, I want to be a mod. I want to be an enforcer. I want to be Sniper Gang. How you become Sniper Gang? By sharing, jumping over to Twitter, sharing this content, hey, letting people know where to go when they want to follow Cowboys content, jumping in on Instagram, letting people know on Facebook, sharing this stuff to the communities and stuff, and say, hey, there's this dude that got a nice beard. He look better than James Harden, though. You know what I'm saying? And he be talking Cowboys football and beyond. Come on, baby. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Talk Your Talk Media. Ooh, that's a nice name right there, bro. Talk Your Talk. Salute. Love y'all. Peace.